the last episode, we have discussed the impact of supply and demand management in supply chain. In this episode, we will discuss about the different approaches in supply management in supply chain. Approaches in supply management. In managing the variation in demand, the manufacturer uses a combination of capacity approaches to manage the supply. The approaches used by the manufacturer are flexible workforce and overtime, seasonal workforce, outsourcing, dual facility, flexible production lines. Flexible workforce and overtime. This approach is used by the manufacturer when the workforce is flexible to the working hours. Many companies work for one shift of 8 hours duration and plan their production capacity according to meet the demand. When the demand increases marginally, these companies can extend their working hours depending upon the production required in meeting the demand. The extended time is considered as overtime and the workforce is paid wages accordingly. If the increase in demand is too high, the manufacturer plans for a second shift and employs part-time workers to meet the demand. In the same way, if the demand decreases, production capacity is reduced and the workforce is given a layoff. This approach can be used on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis to meet the required demand. The second strategy in capacity is seasonal workforce. Manufacturers plan for a constant production capacity based on the average demand over a period of time with stable workforce. When the demand increases during peak season, the manufacturer employs part-time workers during this season on a temporary basis to offset the peak season demand. This helps the manufacturer in managing their supply across the supply chain in meeting the varying demand. The next capacity strategy is outsourcing. Manufacturer outsources the production during peak season to manage their supply to meet the varying demand. The manufacturer's production remains constant over a period of time. The change in demand is outsourced from a chosen vendor who supplies the product at lower cost. The use of this approach depends on the availability of subcontractors who have the capacity and have flexibility over the quantity required to meet the demand. When such subcontractors are available, their relationship is more important for the success of this approach in meeting the varying demand. Dual facility is another capacity approach in meeting the demand. Some manufacturers who are original equipment manufacturers for companies and have specialization in manufacturing certain products establish two production facilities. One production facility is to cater to the original equipment manufacturer's requirement, and another production facility is to cater to the other companies which require similar products with different specification of the same product family. Under these circumstances, when the demand for the OEMs increase, they use the second facility to support the increase in demand over a period of time. Hence, dual facility of manufacturer helps them to offset the supply requirements. Flexible production lines are another capacity strategy which is used by the manufacturer to meet the varying demand. This approach is used when the manufacturer has a number of production lines catering to a range of products belonging to a particular category or product family. Under this circumstance, this manufacturer can use additional production line to meet the increase in demand for a particular product. If the demand decreases, the production line of the product is used for manufacturing other products of the company which has a demand. Hence, flexible production lines are used as a capacity strategy for managing the fluctuating demand. Another strategy which is used by the company as a capacity strategy is inventory. Inventory can be used as a strategy for meeting the fluctuating demand across the supply chain. In managing the variation in demand, the manufacturer uses a combination of inventory approaches to manage the supply. The approaches used by the manufacturer are using common components and building inventory. A manufacturer who manufactures number of products in a product category uses the approach of using common components to meet the fluctuating demand. This type of manufacturer has to design the products in such a way that they have common components. When they have such products, these manufacturers have the options of manufacturing the common components in bulk quantity and maintain an inventory which can be used at the time of varying demand of various products. This helps the manufacturers to offset the demand across the supply chain and improve its efficiency. But if the manufacturer has different types of products with different designs, we cannot use the above approach in meeting the demand. In such cases, the manufacturer is forced to stock inventory in all the different types of products manufactured by them. This results in building large quantity of inventory to meet the fluctuating demand. The manufacturing of a supply chain uses a combination of strategies discussed above to manage the supply in meeting the change in demand to increase the efficiency of the supply chain. In this episode, we have discussed the various supply approaches which are used in supply chain to manage the supply. In the next episode, we will discuss the process of demand management in supply chain. Thank you.